Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome to All Things Social Security. I am Stephanie Joy, the attorney at Joy Disability. Welcome to the channel, and I hope you enjoy the video. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Dolphin. RD. I'm confused about DLI. How many years do you have SSDI after you stop working? Okay, excellent. And there's not like a straight answer, but let me explain why. So if you stop working entirely, you're not earning any more credits, or you're working so little that you can't even earn one credit. The maximum you're ever going to have is 5 calendar years after you stop working. That's the maximum, but it could be less because remember, you have to have 20 earnings credits in the last 40 quarters. You could stop working and you just started it. Maybe you worked for the last, 6 months or something, and you hadn't worked in 4 years. Well, you have those prior 5 years well stuffed with work, so you are still insured because those 5 years are still within the 10-year window. And then you got 2 more, so you have presumably 22 credits. You stop working. The oldest 2 are going to scroll off in 6 months. It's quarterly, remember? It's quarterly credits. So this is generally how it would work. I'm trying to think if there's exceptions, but this looks like pretty much a picture that could readily happen and does. So now in 6 months, you're still insured, but it ends the end of that quarter. And now you're not insured anymore. So you could still prove that you were not insured. That you were disabled during the last 6 months. And if the work you did do recently did not last 6 months, let's say it lasted 5, you've been off work for years for growing problems, and you tried to go back and it didn't work, that would arguably not even be SGI. Like you could get it argued as a failed work attempt, but that doesn't change your DLI. Your DLI, you bought those extra 6 months because of that work, which you can get from part-time work too. That's under SGA. That's highly recommended. Your old ones are scrolling off. Now, let's say it wasn't that scenario. So in that case, you have a very short window of DLI, right? It's not going to be the 5 years. The 5 years is if your most recent 5 years of the 10 years are the ones that are packed. You got 4 credits for every year. You worked at least $10,000 a year for those last 5 years. You're going to have those 20 as I'm like doing it on the side, but like they're here current. Here's which way am I going? 10 years ago here, these start scrolling this way as time goes on, right? And so they're going to, in 5 years, the one from 5 years ago will now be 10 years out. And then it's going to scroll off the board. So your best bet is their most recent, filing. I like to, ideally, like maybe not the day you stop. There's a lot of reasons why we often recommend, depending on the impairment, that don't do it right away. Let's get the evidence solid that you didn't get before, because you got the 12-month durational thing too. You don't have to wait 12 months, but it will come into play and potentially deny you, which we see all the time. So sometimes it'll be like, why don't you wait 6 months? Focus on the 6 months of bolstering that medical evidence that you couldn't do because you were working full-time. Make it your new full-time, although it's part-time job, is getting those visits and going, and getting the whole next, foreseeable future, speckled with medical, and then file. And that's that's probably a good scenario. And the person still has like 4 years of insured status. And if they want that DLI to never go away, Dolphin, they're going to want to somehow earn several thousand. It's under 10. In fact, it's under 9 this year, a year, or at least 2 credits that kind of keeps you in but not extended. But if they had the 4 credits every year doing some genteel self-employment accommodated work, this is when accommodated work is really good. Under SGA, accommodated split shifts, or I should say split days, like every other day, 3 hours a day, short shifts, and they could still earn money. It's not contrary to their disability. Continue to treat robustly because they're only working part-time to prove why they can't work more. And they will be earning those credits and it'll always keep them. They could be fighting a case after case after case, and then eventually they'll win.